As you can see the picture we shown just now, they are three totally different pictures. The reason why we chose these three pictures is because they attracted our attention. They can truly reflect some of the social and political problems happening in Hong Kong. Later on, we'll give you a detailed introduction to this picture. According to the picture, it is talking about a gay marriage. In Netherlands, on the 1st of April 2001, for the first time, people of the same sex were allowed to marry. The world looked on. 10 years later, the Netherlands celebrated this by acting as a civil registrar. On that day, he conducted two wedding ceremonies for a female couple and a male couple here in the Amsterdam Museum. But compared to Hong Kong, since 1995, Hong Kong has enacted several anti-discrimination ordinances and set up the Equal Opportunity Commission. However, these ordinances only deal with discrimination against sex, family status, disability, and race. And Hong Kong did not have any laws with regard to discrimination against sexual orientation, resulting in people of different sexual orientation not being able to build family under statutory process and not being entitled to treatment that enjoyed by legally married couple in respect of various aspects, such as public housing application, tax allowance, healthcare insurance, application for entry of family members for family reunion, criminal liability and estate handling, etc. And this situation had persisted for quite a number of years. The authority effort in eliminating discrimination against different sexual orientation are limited to including same-sex cohabitation relationship in the Domestic and Cohabitation Relationship Violence Ordinance, publishing the Code of Practice Against Discrimination in Employment on the ground of sexual orientation, setting up a working group for case follow-up, and subsidizing activity with a small amount of funding. The law of Hong Kong and policies in a number of different areas are permitted on the system of marriage between a man and a woman. At present, same-sex marriage is not recognized in Hong Kong. Therefore, in some policy area, the treatment of same-sex partners is not the same as married persons. The treatment of unmarried partners of opposite sex is not the same as married persons. This cannot be interpreted simply as discrimination against people of different sexual orientation. As to whether same-sex marriage should be recognized, this involves fundamental value and complicated matters, and it is unlikely the community could come to a consensus on this in the near future. To conclude, the policy in Hong Kong cannot protect the rights of homosexuals because of lacking in some local laws and also regulations. For centuries, rich and poor had lived side by side in Amsterdam. The canal houses were always for the wealthy, but supplier lived just around the corner. In the 19th century, living conditions in Amsterdam were appalling. Whole family in one leaking cellar. Wealthy citizens were the first to try to do something about it. Then it was just city council. In the 20th century, the city became famous for its social housing provision. Amsterdam has already dared to invent. The situation is similar to Hong Kong because although Hong Kong is a highly developed city, there are some people who are difficult to afford the rents and also poor living conditions. The rents for subdivided units had been rising over the years. In 2000, and the median monthly rent was $4,200 for the partition flats, a jump of 10% over 2 years. According to official statistics, almost 200,000 people were living in 88,000 subdivided units in 2016, according to the Census and Statistics Development. However, the development of housing policy in Hong Kong is different from the housing policy in Amsterdam. With an average 4 years waiting for public housing and ever-increased rents in the private sector, many residents who live below the poverty line are forced to tolerate such conditions. Hong Kong is an expensive place to live, and a household should anticipate paying 45 to 50% of their total income for housing. Also, with the growth of population and increasing immigration in Hong Kong, the city becomes denser and denser. With limited housing, the rent increases rapidly. However, there is no any rent regulation because of the below political problem. Although the Hong Kong government has implemented some measures, such as public housing renting, the housing problem is still very serious because there is collusion between government officials and business owners. Since the developers contribute lots of growing the GDP of Hong Kong, our government needs to ensure the profit gained by those developers. High-priced apartments can gain more profit. That's why some grassroots people are ignored in the major housing policy.
In the past, bicycle street parkings were strictly forbidden in Amsterdam, but now it is not difficult to see a Dutch riding a bicycle in the city. Unlike Amsterdam, it is not common for people to use bicycle and transportation in Hong Kong due to the land supply problem. In recent years, there are a growing number of bike-sharing operators in Hong Kong. However, our government does not have effective monitoring system and proper policy for supporting it, because it can't be the major transportation. Therefore, parking problems increased and complaints of social nuisance were filed by residents after riders left bicycle in undesignated areas without facing any consequences. According to the statistic, there were about 60,000 public parking spaces for bikes across the city in 2017. 900 locations for the cycling facilities. It is still lack of parking space. At the same time, the Hong Kong government does not roll out further regulations on bicycle sharing. Instead, they ensure the bike sharing operators to be pragmatic and viable and will not violate the principles of fair competition. Therefore, Amsterdam will be a great model for Hong Kong to imitate.